Our very special guest is Cyrus Vance. He is the Manhattan District Attorney. Mr. District Attorney, welcome to Reaching Out once again.
Greg, thanks so much. Great to see you and to be back.
One of your campaign promises, I remember, you were going to open up an office in Washington Heights, I believe it was. How are we coming along with that?
Slow, but coming to conclusion. It has taken more time than I had thought. But I'm pleased to say that toward the end of March, that is roughly a month from now, we will have a Washington Heights office. And it was important to me as I was running for office and then having been the district attorney to understand that for people in northern Manhattan, coming down to lower Manhattan to our offices can be both a long journey and an intimidating trip. And so as we are active in our outreach, particularly to the immigrant communities and on issues like domestic violence, to have a presence in northern Manhattan where people can come to work easily, more quickly, with a little less somberness. It's not, the building will not be quite so formidable, and it will be an opportunity for our assistants to meet with witnesses in the community in which they live, making it easier for them. So all in all, I'm delighted that we're getting it done. But sometimes these projects, as I've discovered, take a lot of time, like the Family Justice Center, which I know
Yes.
you and I were going to talk about. This is a facility where we merge both the criminal justice services that our office provides with the city services like emergency housing and child care and the like. And that took 4 years, literally from A to Z, before we opened it up last fall. So they take time, but I think they're worth the effort.
And that center assists victims of domestic violence and other family
What we've done
crimes.
is we have located under one unit what we call the Special Victims Bureau the cases that we feel require a certain level of specialized training and sensitivity. These are sex crimes, elder abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, and we've co-located them in part because we find that one case may actually be another kind of case. So, for example, domestic violence there may be information related to child abuse that comes out, or a child abuse case that comes in. You find out that there's domestic violence abuse between the partners. So it's important for us, we've found, to have assistants screen these cases with an open mind because we find interrelationship between the kinds of offenses that occur.
There's so many important issues to speak about, but one of our main concerns is the greater safety in the New York City Housing Authority developments. Our members, Local 237, we have 1/3 of our membership, 8,000 employees, are working there every day. And we thank you for your actions that you've taken. You provided funds for cameras, lighting. Can you tell us about that?
Our job, my job, is really to identify where we have the greatest crime problems and then to work on lots of solutions to address it. There's usually not just one solution. There may be many. The reality is that although only 5% of our city population lives in NYCHA housing, 20% or 25% of our violent crimes occur in NYCHA housing. And a significant number of domestic violence, serious assaults and serious assaults and homicides. So we've committed as an office, as a result of dollars we've received from large financial settlements, committed $101 million to support the mayor's initiatives and our criminal justice initiative to improve safety in NYCHA housing. What we've done is we've identified 15 developments in all 5 boroughs. The $101 million will go toward principally enhanced lighting, as well as cameras and other and layered access. So this will enable the police department as well as your employees, as well as law enforcement generally, to do a better job of identifying and prosecuting cases. But I think it will also, it's obviously designed to improve the sense of safety among residents themselves. There's a real concern for the reasons I've decided. Yes. So your members are obviously very invested in these areas, and it's our commitment to help the mayor and make them as safe as possible.
You have several initiatives where you are also working to prevent criminal activity before it happens, which is not normally the district attorney's responsibility, or at least in our minds, your role. Can you tell us about some of those initiatives?
Greg, these initiatives and my commitment to crime prevention is something that you and I have talked about for 5 years.
Yes.
In your offices, in the community with you, and it starts from a really simple premise. What is the job of a district attorney? Is the job of a district attorney simply to process cases in court, to be reactive to a police arrest, and then process a case and move on to the next one? That's the model that I grew up under when I was a young assistant DA, and it's very important. You need to make sure that the cases that come into your office by way of police arrest are handled effectively and that justice is served. But I view the job of the district attorney, and I think many more people around the country agree with this philosophy. My job is not just to process cases in court. My job is to engage in all strategies that reduce crime, that makes us safer. Some of those strategies, and the principal ones for a DA, are going to be in the courthouse. But we also have the opportunity to engage in crime prevention strategies, which simply means that we are trying to prevent a crime from happening. And we can all agree, I think, Greg, that we'd much rather prevent a rape from happening than prosecute a rape once it's occurred. So what does this mean on the ground? It means, for example, that we are sending assistant district attorneys and working with the police in community locations all over Manhattan, whether it is churches, senior citizen centers, places where immigrant communities convene, the LGBT youth centers, and we are talking to them about what the risk is out there for them. For example, if you're from the immigrant community, you need to be alerted to the fact that there are people who are going to prey upon your immigrant status to try to get money from you and steal from you. So that's a crime prevention strategy. As it pertains to youth and crimes of gun violence in the city, there are many things that we can do. One of the most important that I think we can do is we have started a program that we call Saturday Night Lights, and it started with one gym location in Central Harlem, which was closed on weekends because it didn't have funding to stay open. Think of that in an area of the city where there is elevated crime. The most vulnerable people to that crime are going to be young men and women, 12 to 18 years old, and the gym is closed and it can't be used. Well, that makes no sense. So we started in Central Harlem and we funded a sports program that we call Saturday Night Lights. We've brought in world-class basketball coaches in that location. And for boys and girls 12 to 18 years old, Friday and Saturday nights, 5 to 9 p.m., the days of the week, the hours of those days, and the age group that is at risk, we've provided a safe place for them to be, world-class coaching that you couldn't get if you were a millionaire, and also provided for those who want it, academic counseling and tutoring to support their future success. The program was so successful in Central Harlem that we moved it to the Lower East Side, and now we have success upon success, 10 different locations in Manhattan where you'll come with me and see in those locations boys and girls, mostly from the very community, engaged in team building, productive, excited, fantastic opportunities to play together, to work together, to grow together. And we have about 3,000 kids now who are participating.
How would who qualifies to participate, and how would they get involved?
Everybody is welcome. We pay for it, so there is no No one is turned away. No one is turned away.
No one's turned away.
And so what I would say to the listeners is, particularly if you live in Manhattan, but we have kids who come in from Brooklyn and Bronx and Queens and New Jersey, that you should call the district attorney's office, 212-335-9000, ask to be connected to our community partnership program, and they will tell you where in your community we have a program operating and running. You could also go online, obviously, to our website, which is manhattanda.org, and get the same information there. I encourage moms and dads, grandparents everywhere. This is a phenomenal program. We just don't do basketball. We have soccer, we have lacrosse, we have volleyball, and I think importantly, there is an educational component for those parents and those kids who are interested in that.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. We have to ask you to come back. But we're going to go to you. We're going to go to the centers, and you're going to pick out where you want us to go for the Saturday Night Lights. I'm Gregory Floyd, President, Local 237 Teamsters. With me, a very special guest was Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.